Hey there, everyone. The question that we have been asked the most in admissions and recruiting by a mile is this question. What do classes look like at Lincoln Christian University in this new model? Questions related to that. Where do classes meet? When do classes meet? Are there any opportunities for in-person learning anymore? And what does the professor-student dynamic look like in this new model? These are all great questions, and I want to go through them one by one with you. Now, this is going to take a little longer than usual, so if you'll hang with me to the very end, I would appreciate it. And if at the very end you've still got questions, send me an email and I'll answer them as best I am able. How about that first question? Where do classes meet at LCU? Let me answer that question with a bit of a question of my own. Where are you right now? Because you can attend class from there. I mean, within reason. If you are nearby in the state of Illinois or maybe Missouri or Indiana, if you're way out on the West Coast or the East Coast, if you're overseas in Tanzania or London, you can attend class from there. You can attend class from the kitchen, from the back porch, from the front porch, from your living room, from the coffee shop around the corner. And the reason for that is because every class we offer at LCU moving forward is going to have an online option. The only exception to this is the courses in our MA in counseling degree. Those have to be in person. But other than that, the other courses that we offer will always have that online option so you can attend class from wherever you are. Now that's that first question, where do classes meet at Lincoln Christian University? This next question is an important one as well. When do classes meet? Now I'm going to be honest with you, this one's a little trickier for me to answer because the answer to that question, when do classes meet, the answer really is, it depends on the class. Now I'll explain that to you in just a moment, but for now, I need to make sure that we're all familiar with a couple of terms. You might have heard these before, or maybe you have never heard these before. The reason for that probably is because this is the kind of language that's used only in academic circles for the most part, but I want to make sure we're all on the same page. The two terms are this: synchronous learning and asynchronous learning. Let me take a moment to define each of these. Let's talk first about synchronous learning. A synchronous learning experience or a synchronous class is a class in which the professor and the students in that class kind of sync up their schedules, so to speak, and they have a set time, often on a weekly basis, where they meet together live, online, everyone together. All right. So I'll give an example. You might be here at LCU in the MA in Biblical Studies programming, and you're taking a class that's exploring the book of Romans. And maybe the professor has determined that every Tuesday night from 6 to 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time, you're going to join together online, live together for lecture, for discussion, and so on and so forth. Or maybe you're taking our MDiv, or you're a part of the MA in Ministry programming and you're taking a class on pastoral care. That class might meet the third Thursday of every month, usually all day, maybe 8 to noon with an hour lunch break, and then 1 to 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. But you meet with your professor and your fellow classmates, you sync up your schedule, and you're together live, okay? That's what we mean by synchronous learning, or by a synchronous class. So when you think synchronous learning, think live, online, together. Now let's switch over to asynchronous education, is asynchronous learning. Now, in this kind of learning, you're not necessarily having any kind of live aspect to the class, but you're given all the resources you need ahead of time so that you're able to chip away at the class according to your own schedule. All right. So what this might mean, let's say you're part of our MA in Theology programming, and you're taking a class on systematic theology. What might happen in this asynchronous class is the professor might load a number of lectures, maybe 20, 25 minutes that have been pre-recorded, and you can watch them according to the schedule the professor's given you, or according to your own schedule. Now, maybe you have to pop on and post some things on a discussion board, or you might have some assignments you have to submit, but you chip away at it on your schedule. So if in synchronous learning you're thinking live, online, together, in asynchronous learning, maybe think of it this way: on demand, okay? You chip away at it as you see fit. That's synchronous learning and that's asynchronous learning, all right? Now, back to the question, when do classes meet? This is why I answer that question with, it depends on the class. When you engage with the courses in whatever program you're taking at LCU, some of those courses will be synchronous, which means you're probably going to be meeting at some set time weekly, online, live together. Other courses will be asynchronous. The courses where resources are kind of front-loaded and you chip away at it on demand according to your schedule. Now, I don't mean to muddy the waters at all, but at the same time, I do want you to know that there will be several courses, not all, but several courses that are a mixture of both. Maybe you can take a synchronous option, but maybe there's an asynchronous option. There might be synchronous opportunities and asynchronous opportunities. The bottom line is this, though. Whatever type of course it is, synchronous, asynchronous, a blend of both, our professors will always let you know what kind of class that class is going to be. Now, again, at the risk of maybe muddying the waters, I do want you to know that we do also offer what we call intensive week courses. I've gotten a lot of questions about this. Intensive week courses are courses in which you do some work a little bit ahead of time and some work on the other side of you all spending a week together. Now, many of these are also going to have an online option, but you meet Monday through Friday all day long, and that's the classroom experience you have for the entire semester. So those are a little bit of a synchronous option as well that I wanted to let you know about. So we've answered the question, where do classes meet? We've answered the question, when do classes meet? How about that third question, but are there any opportunities still for in-person learning? Man, this is a popular question. A lot of us, I know in my own degree, almost all of my education was in person. And we really do think in-person education is the best option out there, the communal nature of it. But at the same time, we recognize the complexity of geography and scheduling, and that's why we realize we want to be able to offer our education through an online experience. But nonetheless, there will still be some in-person opportunities for you if you want to take advantage of them. Okay, let's go back to that class that I was talking about in which you're exploring the book of Romans. Remember, that's a synchronous class. That's one that meets on a weekly basis. And in our earlier example, they met from 6 to 8:30 p.m. Central Standard Time live online. Well, it could be that the professor decides that he or she wants to offer that class from right here on campus. And so they're filming it from here on campus, or they're online from campus, but they also could invite students who are in the area to come and sit in on the class. So you could choose to join the class online, or maybe if you're in the area, drive and be a part of the class every Tuesday night. Or let's go back to that all-day class. Remember the one on pastoral care? You meet the third Thursday of every month. That will be available to students online, but maybe the professor says, I want to host that class in a classroom on LCU's campus, and if you're in the area, you can come sit in on the class in person. So there are still going to be opportunities. And of course, going back to our MAC program, the Master of Arts in Counseling, all of those classes are in person and are required being in person. So to your question, are there still in-person opportunities for learning at LCU? Yes. It won't be the case for all classes in all of our degrees, but it will be the case in several of them, because we believe in the beauty of in-person learning while also offering all that we offer in online ways. Now, that final question, what does the professor-student dynamic look like in this new model? Hey, here's what I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of things have changed here at LCU in the midst of transitioning to this new model. But one thing that has not changed is your professors are going to be here for you. Your professors are going to be with you all along the way in the courses that you take with them. All right, so when you've got questions, they're going to be here to answer them. If you've got things that are going on in life and you need an ear to hear what's going on, someone to pray with you, we're going to be here for you. One of the things that we do not want to compromise in these changes is this being a communal experience, even if it has to be done online. The professor-student dynamic is going to be as beautiful as it has always been in the nearly 80 years of LCU's experience and education. We are going to be here for you all along the way. Now, those are 4 of the most popular questions that we have had to answer in this whole process. If you need more answers to those questions, I'm happy to give them. If you have other questions that we haven't addressed here, I'm happy to offer answers to those as well. But we wanted to address what it looks like to take a class at LCU.